line. Check the radio, pit crew is far from slow. The lights no longer yellow. Ready, steady, go. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 In love with the ride. Burning rubber smells real nice. Fuel it up once or twice. Come on, fast is the way to drive. Crowds all on their feet, not one bothered by the heat. Imagine them in the driver's seat. Checkered flag would be sweet. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Everybody get ready. On your feet. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Crank it up.
All mere mortals who dare defy and try to claim on the tricky triangle must be indulged and punished in a wholehearted affair between the car and the driver and the intensity and the crazy nature that is the tricky triangle. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Long Pond, Pennsylvania, here on Pizza Race TV, and it's time for Polka Dot Raceway to see the Fast and Fun Champion Power Equipment Cup Series live on the track. Presented by our friends at Champion Power Equipment. Be sure to get your power generators and all of your fancy equipment for tools and needed research from our boys down at the names you can trust. Champion Power Equipment, the only name in town to trust in. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome here to Pizza Race TV live today on the show. We are set to go on the action here and set to go on the field as currently our field of drivers prepare for the 60 laps ahead of them on this very tight, very unique track. 3 turns designed completely different from one another, designed after famed tracks in their own right, and a place that really mix and matches the greatest and the toughest drivers on some of the hardest grounds to begin with. And some of our toughest drivers certainly come from the lands of the Pennsylvania area. But first, let's start back down to our boys from Georgia. The number 53 is Christian Wilcox now on the line with us here. And Wilcox, as you currently are getting ready right now to deal with the trickiness of this triangle, how are you feeling right now, bud?
A little uneasy. There's a lot of shifting involved here. It's going to be a lot of drafting. Honestly, I'm just trying to stay clean. I missed a race a few weeks ago, and that set me back in the playoff standings. So, biggest goal tonight is to just be consistent, get a good, nice finish, and get some points. So I'm, ready for the playoffs here in a few weeks.
Ready for the playoffs here in a couple weeks, and I'm going to ask this real quick too, because it looked like the 53 having some troubles there in turn number 1. All 3 of these turns are going to be obviously, no pun intended, they're tricky in nature. But for you, which turn is the one you feel gets the worst end of the bunch with these next gens?
Well, being that you're usually shifting through 1 and 3, you have a little more rotation. But staying in 5th through the tunnel. And it really gets tight, so I think on the end of a run, I might be shifting down the tunnel turn 2 just to help get some more rotation in the car. So I think the tunnel turn is going to be the one that you're going to see the most issues.
All right.
Especially when people get really tight and you're trapped underneath somebody and you really got to push up the track. It might just be like Sunday and somebody's going to run into the wall.
For sure there. Well, we'll have to see what happens as you give us a little demonstration of that here. But
exactly.
Nevertheless, Wilcox, thank you so much for your time here, bud. Our best wishes and luck to you.
Thanks, man.
Christian Wilcox, number 53, currently preparing up for the tricky triangle, as is the man that pilots the number 9, currently in the middle of the pack in terms of practice-wise. The wild child, Eli Childs, is back here in the factory community curve records, number 9 machine. Eli, right now, looks like getting kind of settled in on the track, but the speed and timing-wise here, what's going on with you today?
Well, first off, Chris, you scared me. Second, we're just out here trying some different things here. We got a few different setups tonight, so just trying to figure out which one's the best. A lot of these times up here are quality times, so we're just working on race stuff right now. We'll, if we got some time, we may try some quality stuff, but more worried about how we're going to race tonight.
Now, when we were last seeing you guys, you were running the 550 horsepower packaged up of the Gen 6s here with a 670 though that runs in these Gen 7s, the next gens if you will. What's really the biggest telltale for you that makes this track a little more difficult with this car versus what you originally had to deal with in the slingshot mechanisms of the Gen 6s?
The fact we got a shift here. This car's more very momentum based compared. Like the Gen 6, you could really throw around here. This thing, you gotta really keep your momentum up because if you don't, you're really gonna suffer, especially down the longer straightaways. So I don't know. It's a whole different animal. Like I say, we got a shift, which we haven't never had to do in the Gen 6 cars. So kind of a pain in the butt, but we're getting used to it.
For sure there. Well, nevertheless, as you continue to get used to it and get ready for all the action ahead, best of luck to you and the crew.
Appreciate it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Eli Childs here in the 9 looking to pilot up this bad boy today. As currently I'm having a little bit of technical difficulties on my end. I had to get the audio fixed up and I had to get him out of there. Hold on. Producers, would you fix that already? Thank you. All right, sorry for the technical difficulties there, guys. Now we got it fixed. So right now, here we go. Though, let's take a listen to some of our other cats here right now, piloting in the 77. The man coming to the track now, it is Brian Lorenzo on the show. And Brian, last couple of races, man, you've been firing hard and you're firing good and coming away with a win or two. You know, that really is definitely setting the bar pretty high for you and this crew, isn't it?
Yeah, man. Been trying to win all season. I think that with a little bit of luck, we'll definitely get one.
A little bit of luck and a little bit of power under that hood. I mean, how much do you think really is going to be these guys' oppositions? Do they think they're going to go more short-term run, or do you think the long-term is going to be their biggest plan?
Definitely long run. If you kill your tires early, you're going to be done. 10 to 15 laps in, if you kill your tires, you're going to fall pretty far back because the car just gets so loose.
Well, it seems like you're getting a pretty good little grip of it right now and getting an idea of how loose it can be. So as we continue on with the show, Lorenzo, we wish you the best of luck. We'll see what happens for you in the 3Y Motorsports camp.
Thanks, man. Thank you for the broadcast.
Absolutely. The number 77, ladies and gentlemen, Brian Lorenzo on the line here. Down on the edges here, though, we see a big 35 kind of playing around down on the track. It is time to meet another Oval Sim Performance driver in the 35. Ladies and gentlemen, to the line, Tyler Meeks joins us.
I just walled it.
You wallied it?
Yeah, I just walled it. I got distracted. That's okay. I'm here.
That's okay. I mean, I could have let you alone. You could have just said, don't bring me in right away.
That's all right.
So, right now, as Turn 2 seems to be giving you a bit of fits. We heard from some of these guys earlier that Turn 2 is where you're really going to see a lot of guys making mistakes. I mean, can you confirm to that as well, sir?
Yeah, I feel like if you don't get a good, like if you're not on the line in turn 2, you might as well just let way off and try to avoid the wall, because I feel like if you're mid to high, I mean, I don't want to be 3 wide in the tunnel turn, but I feel like if you get 3 wide, you better back out and try to get low, because you're not going to make it if you're high. I will say that.
Yeah, it definitely seems like the case here. That little indent banking there that goes around that curb seems to be kind of what helps to get these cars to rotate out. But I'll ask this too. I mean, they got the flat bankings of 3, and then you got the hard corners of 1. I mean, is there any way to try to get all 3 turns kind of narrowed down, or do you think there's only one turn that will make the best drivers kind of come out on top?
No, I think for sure you got to hit all 3 corners perfect to whoever wins is going to be hitting the corners all perfect, because I don't think one corner is going to make or break a race. Track's too fast. If you get a wrong exit, you're going to a bad exit. You're going to not get a good run. You'll get passed.
For sure there. All right. Well, Meeks, we really appreciate your time here, sir. Let's see how it all plays out.
Thank you, sir.
Tyler Meeks, ladies and gentlemen, on the line here, chatting with us right now. Down to bring in the big 8, number 8, Sheldon Pearson to the line here. And Sheldon, currently right now 11th in practice here, and I believe this PM and Sons number 8's kind of ready to boil down and kind of take down a few guys today, isn't it?
Well, hopefully, man. Hopefully we can keep it clean this time. Did pretty good the last couple of weeks, but all we got to do is just keep it clean, and I'm sure other people drop out as we go. So that's what I'm banking on.
Now, when you say drop out, are you referring to drivers just burning their equipment up too much, or are you thinking guys maybe getting a little too aggressive on themselves and wreck themselves out?
Wreck in and burning their stuff up. I mean, I don't know. Setup we got is, I think it's going to be good on the long run, but on the short run, it's so tight. So we got to get through the first 3 or 4 laps before it starts to really feel good. So if we can get through the first 3 or 4 laps and settle in, and we should be good on the long run. Might be able to start knocking them off.
For sure there. All right, Sheldon. Well, nevertheless, the best wishes of luck to you and the crew.
Thanks, man. Give a shout out to Champion Power Equipment and you for broadcast.
Absolutely, man.
Appreciate it.
All right, we'll see you later now.
Yeah.
Sheldon Pearson, ladies and gentlemen, getting ready to get down to business, get down and dirty here at Pocono. Another guy that had to make a trip up here to get to the Pennsylvania region. He pilots the 55, James Harris, on the line.
Yeah, man, that was a long trip from Texas up to Pennsylvania.
Well, you're telling me you had to travel all the way from, like, where the heck you located? Like the Texarkana, Texas? Where is that? Near Victoria? Is that Austin? Where is that located?
It's on the Texas-Arkansas border.
Texas-Arkansas border. All right. So you had a drive and a half to get to Long Pond.
Yeah, it took a little bit.
Well, it took a little bit, and it does take a little bit of time to get around this track. How you feeling so far with the way this plays out?
Well, I think I've ran a total of 8 laps of practice because I've just been too busy and I forgot about the update today. So we've got 7 minutes to get this thing figured out.
Well, 7 minutes to get figured out, and then 60 laps to get everything else figured out. But for you and this crew here, I mean, what's going to be the main perception you're looking for here on this track?
You know my thing, Chris, it's long runs. Other than the last race, I don't know what happened, but I'm usually good at long runs. So Pocono will probably be pretty tight, like the Coke guys were the other night. But I think once we get spread out, we're going to have some long green flag runs. I think our setup's really good for a long run, so we'll see.
All right, well, we will see indeed. It's going to be a battle, though, of war nutrition here on the track. James, best of luck to you and this crew.
All right, man, thanks.
James Harris, ladies and gentlemen, on the line, giving us a little info and insight. I kind of held back for the longest time to not talk with this guy because usually he'll talk up a storm. But let's just let him in here, race fans. It is the Zanny fam, Craig Jantic, back with us in the 02.
Good day. I'm just gonna run over Eli here real quick. And hey, how we doing? How we all doing today?
We're doing all right. And considering you wanted to run over Eli in your home state, I'm presuming you're trying to send a message to the boys already.
I'd really like to. Yeah, I feel really good about the piece that we got here. Leap Performance Industries, RaceCPI.com Camry is definitely ripping. It's feeling the track itself right now. Just the current status is feeling a little bit tighter than we were anticipating. So, oh hey, I'm just gonna dodge him real quick. And it's feeling a little bit tighter than we were anticipating. So we're gonna have to make some on-the-fly adjustments to that, even to how we approach things in qualifying and in the race alike. So do be watching out for some of those tight instances, again, compared to what we ran in A-Open last week and what we were feeling in some practice earlier. So I don't know. I still feel confident. Obviously, home races, I know mean a lot to me, and I think that we can make a really good showing here tonight.
So with your expertise and your knowledge, and obviously a little bit of help from the Race EPI guys, what did you do with the tires to help kind of keep them a little bit more cooler and a little bit more off from burning up too quickly? Because we know at Pocono there are 3 different corners, so you have to take them 3 different ways. I believe those tires would probably take a bit of a beating, wouldn't they?
The tires take a big beating here, and it's interesting because what you're going to see here tonight is that you're going to be wearing right front, but everyone over the course of the run is going to get freer. So it's going to be a careful balance of kind of deciding what corner you're going to sacrifice, and I'm definitely not going to tell you what corner we're going to be sacrificing, because if you want to hit one corner right, you're going to give up one, and if you want to hit 2 corners right, you're probably going to give up the other. You're going to be okay in those 2, but you're definitely going to give up one. So when you're building the setup for a place like Pocono, you have to really be mindful of all those things. And I know what corner that we're going to be attacking, and I know the results that's going to bring us. At least, in terms of tire wear and where we're going to be able to make passes and what's going to feel the best for our car in particular situations. So I'm hoping to get a good qualifying run in, because I do think that passing is still going to be just as much of a challenge as you saw that it was in the Gen 6 car here. And aside from that, try to make sure that the competition stays in the rearview mirror.
Well, I mean, there's only one way to do it. Time your shots, time your marks, and make sure you get those starts up and good. So, best of luck down there to you and the crew here, Janzik.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Greg Janzik on the line, and I think he may have got a little bit mad at me for that one little comment I made. You guys probably remember. I'll tell him more about it later. But nevertheless, ladies and gentlemen, we bring in the big 90 here now, okay, from the Ford camp. Ladies and gentlemen, Richard Fornshow.
How's it going?
Yeah, pretty good. Fornshow obviously didn't have to make too much of a trip. Had to go only from Tennessee down here to Pennsylvania compared to some of these other guys. But still, I mean, I got a feeling you're probably getting a little bit more to the moisture weather here around in the Pocono region.
Yeah, you know, I like this track. So, this is actually I think where I got my first win in trucks. So, we'll see how it goes.
First win in trucks, and now looking to get your first win in this next-gen Cup car. I mean, for you, what would that mean in this case to be able to knock that off the list and do something that a lot of folks haven't really been able to accomplish yet?
Well, I mean, biggest thing right now would mean I'm actually in the playoffs because I'm definitely not pointing my way in. So, I mean, aside from that, you know, it would definitely feel great to finally get another win and get up there. But man, those playoffs would sure be nice.
For sure there. Well, you have a chance, and there's plenty of opportunities here, so best wishes and luck to you and the crew.
Thanks, bud. Take care.
Richard Fornshow, ladies and gentlemen, the number 90 on the line here. Time to take it down here with the Mullet Man, Robert Lawrence here in the number 34. Robert, my friend, going from road courses to tricky triangle ovals.
Yep, hopefully we can duplicate said performance.
I was just about to say, I mean, duplicating is one thing, but I mean, my friend, you literally, at that Champ Barracuda 100 last couple weekends ago, you had to absolutely throw down and put a fiery performance here. Did you take anything from the way the twists and turns work at Road America down here to Pocono?
It's all about respecting the corner. Just respect the corner and it will treat you nicely.
Respect the corner, it'll treat you nicely. Well, I think that's his command to say he's going to try to outrun, but he will not outgun any of this track. So, nevertheless, here, Lawrence, we appreciate your support, and thank you for your time today, sir.
I appreciate it, sorry.
Yeah, all good. Ladies and gentlemen, Robert Lawrence, everyone. Well, we got time to chat with a few other guys. I think it's only fair and pointing I bring out a guy that knows a thing or two about fuel and pit strategies. Ladies and gentlemen, Man Jr. is on the line.
How's it going, big guy?
Hey, William. Well, right now, so far, it looks like practice-wise, not doing you too badly, but kind of throwing you down the back of the pack here. Is the track giving you some fits, or are you just trying to make sure you don't show your hand or your cards early today?
Trying out a couple different setup changes. I mean, I've put some work in before tonight, so just kind of goofing around, I guess, and say, try to see if I can get a quick lap. These guys are so much better at qualifying. I'm terrible at it. I need a rabbit to chase.
Well, I mean, if you can get the rabbit's foot out and start rubbing it, I think that might help a little bit too, I would think, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would. I might need to get my horseshoe out. I got a couple other things. I got the whole handy safety toaster next to me in case things go bad, so we'll figure it out.
Well, I do know you at least got a PT Racing TV sticker somewhere around there, so hopefully the broadcaster curse has been waned off from you there.
Yeah, it's right behind my head, so every time you talk to the headset, it knocks away like a dream catcher as asleep, you know?
Fair enough there, alright. William Man Jr., thank you so much for your time, and we'll see you later on, buddy.
Sounds good, man. Enjoy the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, Man Jr., the Man Beast is his nickname, on the line. Alright, so we're getting ready to get to qualifying, ladies and gentlemen. The time has come, and we're set to go. Qualifying, set on the stage, set on the track. Let's see who brings it out. And I have not ignored your comment there, Jeff Lee Bell. I really appreciate you coming on board here, sir. Rooting on for his boy down there in Stephen Pless. And speaking of Stephen Pless, here he comes now to the track. Bring the Tower of Doom to the Champion Power Equipment lineup here, race fans, here at Pocono. It's time to get down to business. Your field of drivers now lining up into their qualifying positions, laying off on the track. Janzik, Henson, Lawrence, Pless, Wilcox, Ronzo, Childs, Holden, and Harris have all entered to the stage. Man Jr. and Henson joining late. We'll take a look at Pless's line here in his lap here and see what he brings to the table. Alrighty though, I'm getting a good feeling and a bit of a feeling of confidence from some of these guys, and a lot of these drivers looking to try to make it or break this race here today. And of course, with these 3 tracks designed, this is a wild, wild little circuit if I have ever heard one. The track, of course, here in Long Pond, Pennsylvania, known as Pocono Raceway, has been a bit of a understatement when it comes to madness and kind of its overall issues here that it comes with bringing out the areas in the play. But the biggest thing here, without a doubt, is always control, power, and speed, and where you play it out and where you go from there. So that's going to be the things that they're going to watch for today. And I'll give you guys a little bit more of an insight here on where the heck these tracks were designed and mapped out from and where they come from. Stephen Plesso finishing his lap around here. William Mann Jr. getting out on the track now at last. Craig Janzik not getting a time he wanted to, so he decided to back off and got it back out. He's going to try to refire, trying to restructure. Jason Taylor in the 15, getting ready to set his time. Kyle Holden, though, has set the first time of the night. It's a 54.13 here for Holden. Stephen Pless laying down at 54.39. Looked pretty solid there for his run. 54.72 for Harris. Not bad considering he had literally a few times where he wasn't even practicing down there. Jason Taylor looking to get his lap in. Sets the 4th fastest of the bunch. Not a bad time by any means. Eli Childs ready to set down his next lap. Brian Lorenzo blowing the field away here by 200 to a second. Richard Fornshell, though, my. Fornshell in the 90 car, a 54.08. Hey now, looks like there might be some room for the 90 tonight. Coming off the edges here, Holden has set the fastest with a 53.84. Janzik still without his time, though. Will need to get something just as fast here. Coming roaring off, 53.79, and Janzik will get the fastest time. Holden goes in the 2nd slot. Forshell holding on for 3rd, and surprisingly, Lorenzo 4th and Lawrence 5th, but Stephen Pless 6th, Wilcox 7th, 8th for Harris, 9th to Meeks, and 10th to Childs. Very smart, very strong times from these drivers. Very interested to see how those hold up. Brad Thacker, Boyd Hawken, actually, both guys way behind pace, way off the track here. Hagen right now has one more lap to lay down. It's not quite done yet. He's only got a 54.48 though. He needs something really good here. He'll wheel the Champion Power Equipment number 96 off the banks and into the track. Entering down in through turn 3 to the straightaway. This time is only a 54.20, and that is surprising. From Hagen, you would normally see him lay down some really quick times. Very, very slow, in my opinion, for what Hagen can do. Kyle Myers here laying down a solid 53.90. The 18 has now moved into the 3rd slot as we are getting the rest of our laps put on. Only got about 10 seconds left, and Matthew Johnson's not going to get this lap in, I guarantee it. His fastest was a 55.02, which is a very surprising lap by the stretch of the imagination. I would not have expected that to be coming from him, but sometimes that's how Pocono runs this way. Alright, race fans, we have now set the bar, we have set the field. Presented in part by Champion Power Equipment, the best power tool and generators on the market. Only one brand name stands above all else. That's Champion Power Equipment. Be sure to get their get all their designs as well as their tools and generators you need for your next service and outing by going to www.championpowerequipment.com. It is time for that Champion Power Equipment grading order as well. And on the pole, he sets the bar, he sets the field. Craig Janzik gets the 0-2 in his home state with Kyle Holden on his outside in the 5. In row number 2, Kyle Myers pilots the 18 with Richard Fornshell in the 90. In row 3, then it's Brian Lorenzo in the 77 of Robert Lawrence, the mullet man himself, in the 34. Row number 4 is Stephen Pless in the 69 was outside. It's the 53, Christian Wilcox. Row 5, James Harris looking to maraud his way around in the 55 is outside. Is Boyd Hagen, a surpriser in this qualifying pack in the 96. Row 6, Tyler Meeks here going into the 35 is outside. Is the 9 is Eli Childs. Row number 7 is piloted down by Brad Thacker in the number 56. His outside will be Mr. Jason Taylor in the number 15. And row number 8 is going to be Mr. William Mann Jr. in the 29. Is outside. That is the 4, Matthew Johnson. Final stars of row 9, Zach Henson in the 2. Piloted to the outside of him. The 8 is Sheldon Pearson. Race fans, it is time at last to set the field and set the boys up. We have now brought to you some of the heaviest and the toughest drivers to take on one of the toughest tracks ever created, ever designed. This is the Tricky Triangle Pocono Raceway. Get ready, it's time to bring the drivers to life. The field comes alive on the straightaway, bringing the cars out to the track. Problems already out of the gate for Mann Jr. getting fired. Does fire it up. At least he's now on the field. They will enter into the turn number 1 here. This track gonna be a very unique little situation. They got that very, very long straightaway, the longest straight in all of the NASCAR tracks, IndyCar tracks ran out on these circuits, even longer than Indianapolis. It is one of the toughest spots to have to come through, slam on the brakes, entering into that wide open turn number 1, and then having to figure out how to muscle it from there. This track is a tire eater. It is a mastodon of destruction when it comes to testing every driver's patience, mentality, and the car's strength and endurance as well. Our track tech talk shows that turn number 1 designed from Trenton Speedway. It's 14 degrees in banking. Turn 2 is designed in 8 degrees, which is known as the tunnel turn, and designed by, where else? Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Turn 3, though, it's designed by our boys in the Wisconsin area. The Milwaukee Mile is 6 degrees in banking, and it is no joke. There's a lot of guys that can get some great time and speed back off there, but there's also a lot of ways to find yourself trapped in between a rock and a hard place. The time has come here, race fans. The time is now. Pace car off the track and off the field. Set the field in. Presented by Champion Power Equipment. It's time to go racing here at Pocono. Drivers already evasive action and maneuvering their way through the field, trying to find a way around the track quickly. In the turn number 1, and we went 3 wide there for a brief fleeting moment. The 55 of James Harris tries to make the early dodge. Janzik falling back early. Fornshell and Kyle Holden will take over the first and second slots out of the gate. Boyd Hagen trying to make up for that qualifying effort by trying to manage through the field, manage through some track driving here right now. Currently, the Champion Power Equipment 96 looking to get the Camry into play and into the fight here. These guys know they have a long, long drive ahead of them. They have a long race to go. This race, without a doubt, will get them to at least an hour in time and an hour of endurance and patience and perseverance. Pit stops and strategies are going to be so, so crucial, from the fuel to how many tires they take and when and where they take them. I predict, and also going off what we heard from the drivers earlier, will say that the more than likely you're going to see those right fronts really getting curved and cooked up quickly, causing the drivers to not only have to time their rhythm of the power of the push and their drive off the exits, but also really mastering the entries and how you lay down the speeds going into each corner. This place was absolutely going to tear up equipment if you're not too careful. You can see Brian Lorenzo having to shift down into the 4th gear there from 5th gear. Again, that's something you'll see a lot of. But it's similar like how a road course would race. A lot of guys will be shifting in and out to try to get the maximum amount of speed without having to lose in RPMs. The RPMs are extremely crucial here because that is what's helping them get those cars up to full speed and full maximum potential without sacrificing the rhythm of the run. Steven Plus in the 69 currently moving ahead of Harrison Wilcox just by a little bit. Plus setting a great time there, qualifying 7th. Bit of a shocker in my opinion. But really that's just due to the fact that he has not had a lot of luck this season in qualifying. But his drives have been a lot better if he can keep it on all fours and not slammed or destroyed up like some guys have kind of gotten him into. Down to the straightaway here, the back stretch, entering for turn 2, straight to the cars. The roaring nature of these next gens flying right into your living room. On board here, Kyle Myers in the 18 now as he tries to put up a fight to Janzik. Kyle holding the field back and leading this track around. The race EPI 8002 here of Janzik going to try to keep the Green Mountain Grills number 18 of Kyle Myers behind him. Myers and Hagen, navily wily little veterans from the iRacing Pro NASCAR Series, the Coca-Cola Series. These guys are without a doubt top tier in nature and will put up a fight at anyone who dares challenge them. But they are still, right now, the ones trying to challenge the man that holds the lead. Kyle Holden, the Toyota Camry driver, is your race leader still. Setting up now for the train that we call the draft train here. They are all staying single filed in nature and single filed in line. This is where now a lot of fans kind of get a little bit mixed on this kind of track, this kind of racing style. You gotta understand something. This track is never designed to be a double wide, 3 wide, or any of that kind of nature racing. This is designed as a track to bring out the absolute best in the equipment and best in a driver, from their physical well-being to their mentality. This place tests all who dare enter its doors, and it tests every single driver to their fullest potential and limits. Think of it like as a Darlington circuit. You don't expect to go in there and see literally side-by-side racing each corner. You go in there to expect to see guys having to go out with the most amount potential and power, while also fighting off not only the track and its corners, fighting each other off, just trying to make those elusive passes. As it is so difficult to pass here as much as it is down in Darlington. But there is one ace up the hole there for Pocono. Because of the fact they're using a 670 horsepower package now, they can actually perform slingshots a lot better. As back in the old days, that was one of their biggest selling points, was the slingshot unique technique. Now you're probably wondering at home, okay, if you've never seen a slingshot, how exactly does that work, and how exactly do these guys get around with that kind of run? Well, remember what they said earlier. If they start spread out a little bit and they keep these cars more in line and in tone like they are right now, this allows them to stay closer together. It allows them to be kind of more in tune and more in run with their spots, allowing them to then line up the draft, line up the car, and with the airflow now increasing through the nose of the beast and then slinging down to the rear spoiler, where the spoiler then cuts through the air, allowing the car to blast through the traffic. That 670 horsepower package allows them to completely ramp up and send straight inward around the rest of the field and around the cars. You can see right here, that tunnel turn right there, just set it up for Wilcox. He got the draft line down for the slingshot from the tunnel turn. Very similar in area how you would do in Indianapolis in an Indy car. You set the turn up, and then once the slingshot is ready to go into effect, you throw it right at him. That's exactly what Wilcox did, and he nails it beautifully from turn 2 to entering 3. What a move. Speaking of Indianapolis, our Track Tech Talk may have been presented by Champ Power Equipment, but here is your fun fact presented by them as well. As Boyd Hagen right now goes up against Robert Lawrence in 34, looking for his pass on the right side there. This track was designed and modeled in 1959, and was designed and modeled by 1959 1962 Indianapolis 500 winner Roger Ward. He designed this as a unique design for each turn to be modeled after the different tracks. Again, from Trenton Speedway in turn 1 to turn 2 is the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the infamous track he won at, and the Milwaukee Mile as well. It's considered a tri-oval, but again, this isn't really much of a tri-oval, as it is legitimately just an actual triangle of a track design. So people can say what they want, but it is 2.5 miles in length. We know that much for sure, and it is designed to bring out a unique display of raw competition and raw power onto the track. And that's exactly what we get here. We're getting it right now. These Gen 7 Next Gen Cup cars, call them what you will, are putting on a show and putting on a performance now, with everyone trying to make or break their race. Last time out, and I said earlier that James may not be too happy with my little comment I made afterwards about, studying on these starts. Last time out at Road America, Jancic didn't even know how to get a true good start in. He did not set himself up for that at Road America, and undoubtedly the biggest shocker this season, completely whiffs turn 1 and set himself back so much in position and so much in performance. He lost that race outright to his teammate Robert Lawrence, but he told me earlier today he's been practicing and practicing and practicing to get this down. I think he's got it more than just down, because right now he is fighting for a chance to take the lead over Kyle Holden, though not giving him much a chance to give it away that easily. Still looking to throw a huge slingshot pass and a huge ride off on the edge. There you see Robert Lawrence also kind of doing much of the same. But behind all of them in the green Mountain Grills number 18 Toyota Camry, Kyle Myers laying back, laying low, just letting these boys duke it out, not caring one way or another what they do. He just knows he needs to stay focused on where the car is and where he sets himself up. Entering off turn number 3, Holden, trying to hold the line, trying to hold it down. Maybe having to get the radio turned up to Toto hold the line, because right now that's what he needs. He needs a little love because it's not always on time, but Myers says, forget about that song. I'm just going to turn it to a new station. I think he turned on to Avenged Sevenfold and said, "Hail to the King." As Craig Jancic right now is the one who leads the field, now trying to invert the draft. You can see him starting to go a little bit lower here. That's what he's always been known to do. He does it a lot in Michigan. You see him on those back straightaways. He'll try to literally go down low as quick as he can and then back up where he needs to enter into the turn. A lot of drivers do this too. It's when you got such a long straightaway, that draft now becomes a huge factor and a crucial momentum booster. And it also can make the other driver kind of question where their line is and where they're at on the track, making it much more difficult to hit the mark and hit the shot at the right time. Willie Mann Jr. knows slaps to that as well. He has been pretty coherent about this track. He's been pretty thoughtful on this place too. He said earlier on, I'm just trying to find some new places to ride. I'm trying to find some areas to work with. That was his main objective, his main goal. Well, right now, currently in the top 10, 5 spots up from where he qualified earlier. I think he's got something figured out down there. Some prizes down in the back here. Sheldon Pearson actually heading into pit road already, so he's actually entered into pit road first of the bunch. Pearson surprising the field as he goes in first, but Matthew Johnson, Zach Henson, and Jason Taylor with Eli Childs in the very, very back of this field. To be honest with you, I would not have expected that. Childs is pretty good on the long runs, and he's also very clever when it comes to making things kind of go his route and his way, but with his open setups, it seems as though the strategies have now completely reversed. They've flipped around on them. They are now having to be a little bit more testy, a little bit more patient, and keeping a close eye on proximity as well. Now moving in, Lawrence and Mann Jr. having a little bit of a tussle down there, and as I see Richard Fornshell trying to make a comeback here. Remember, Fornshell earlier on was literally battling for that race lead. Had a good climactic sequence there with Jancic, Myers, and Holden. Unfortunately, got sent a little bit to the outside, and once you're in an outside line versus where you're supposed to be at Pocono, that's pretty much a death nail on the car. Even if you're driving an Indy car, It don't matter. This place will tear you up, and it will make life a very living, dangerous nightmare for you. The fast speeds here are no apparent, as well as they are reaching Talladega Daytona speeds on their own. 197 miles per hour hit on the draft. That was by Tyler Meeks in the 35. These cars alone can hit upwards of over 188, 85 miles per hour on their own. So hitting 190 miles per hour just with the draft is certainly no exception and no surprise there. Making a little bit of an exception or two here. Tyler Meeks in that 35 now coming right back into the field, marching a charge and marching inward to the end of this run. The Truck Series champion right now looking to make or break another season here on the 35's camp. The Mobile One at Ford Mustang trying to get there with the Camrys. He's the only one that is not a Toyota to be in the top 5 right now. Definitely telling in my opinion. It seems as though the Camrys have an advantage on this track. And I don't know, maybe that's because of the way the car is shaped in and the way it's figured, or maybe if it's due to the fact that they can really make or break their moves and time their shots. It certainly makes for an interesting ride around here. And look at Kyle Myers, the 18. You can see Janzik's getting tight. Myers just kind of toying with him a little bit. Forced Janzik to actually steer in. Remember, the steering on these things, that snap lock steering as I refer to it, is absolutely hard as it gets just to even try to master and potentially hit right. You almost, in my opinion, sometimes feel like you need to have a formula wheel just to even try to get around with that kind of steering, that kind of momentum. And Myers now is performing what they would have done in the IndyCar and do a slingshot from turn 3. The power of the next gen now firing on all cylinders. Myers gets ahead of Janzik. Janzik doesn't like it. He wants to go to the inside. Hagen, oh, he wants to go with this Team BSM crew member. And nearly gets a little love tap there from Janzik. Janzik sends him up high sky. Can he get it back down? Yes, he can. Lowers it down, gets it back on the performance end there from the Race CPI camp. A lot of movement, a lot of travel from these drivers, and every single one of them trying to hang on, give everything they can here. Back and forth, every single driver right now going with it here. Sheldon Pearson, mechanical problems in the A, will park it down in pit road now. Tough break there for Pearson. Brad Thacker in pit road right now, looking to try to get a fresh set of tires, some Goodyears, and some fuel up on that brigade. Surprisingly, Robert Lawrence way back in the pack here. I'm not sure if his strategy is to lay low and let the other drivers kind of get comfortable or what he's up to, but I'm surprised right now with that 34 that how far back he is in this race. I would not have expected that. Team BSM as of late has been kind of outmatched by Oval Sim Performance, and right now they're looking to change that here as Myers and Hagen work together to collide and collision course here to make the best of their situation, make the best of their runs. Oh, Hagen, oh my, he is way loose in those corners trying to hang on to this thing. You gotta remember something, guys. These cars, they are extremely tight when you get a little bit loose with them, so they end up becoming more like just basically snap locks or spring locks. They'll just snap in place, and the next thing you know, you have nowhere to get out of. I've been in these cars too many times to tell you, they are extremely difficult to work around. Robert Van Ness saying ready for another fine broadcast. Robert, thank you so much for coming on board, sir. There's a lot of things everyone can do on their Tuesday night. For those fans that come onto the show, we really do appreciate your support and appreciate your love you bring to the table. Team 3Y Motorsports drivers Brian Lorenzo and James Harris now working together here. The coalition group trying to get up there with the field and work with Christian Wilcox, another 3Y Motorsports ally, although now jumping to the Oval Sim Performance Camp this season. Definitely made for an interesting little change and a little bit of a switch around here for him and his crew. And they knew it too. That was one big name they had lost. Wilcox, a former winner and a champion in his own right for how many wins and races he's completed in and how much he's put up on the show. He knows how to get the job done. Just about 1/3 of the way there as well. And currently Myers and Hagen using team strategies and team allies to one another to use against the likes of Janzik and Holden. And the bad news is for Janzik, Kyle Holden is not a part of his oversold performance crew. His coalition group is pretty much kind of headed right now behind him with Tyler Meeks. Holden working with the 3 Mind Motorsports camp here, trying to hang in there. Had such a strong ride out of the gate, such a good battle out of the start here. Oh boy, a little bit of a glitch for Gremlin attacking the 69. Stephen Fless putting it right near William Mann Jr., but both guys able to stay clear of one another and out of trouble. Eli Child starting in the 12th spot, the factory Canopies 9 trying to stay in the run, stay in position. Got the number 15, Jason Taylor, right parking on the outside. Here comes a Ford Quality Care Service 15 Ford Mustang to the line. This shot right here just gives you guys a good onboard look on how that slingshot mechanism works and how the draft truly creates a factor and creates a little buzz for these guys to work around. It's really a telltale sign and a big move off when you can see these cars really just kind of set straight into the bar and straight right onto that front or rear bumper and get ready for the big move coming. As Zach Henson now shows you how to do it here around the 69 Stephen Fless. Straight down from tunnel turn, got the momentum kicked up, and now the Matco Tools Camry looking to make the pass on the 69 Fox Racing machine. Doesn't quite get it though. Coming right off the edges though, you know that Zach Henson won't give up anything there. The Harris Tools number 2. That if I said Harbor Tools, I meant to say Harris Tools. My apologies there. The Harris Tools number 2 Camry right now trying to make a bit of a dash, a little bit of a drive offward down the back straightaway into turn number 2's tunnel turn. Setting in motion through the corner, Stephen Fless hangs on, so does Taylor. You know, and also I really had asked this a lot too, but when I got asked about the Indy Road Course coming up here, and whether or not that NASCAR should either run that or they should run the actual road course, the actual IndyCar track again, the big oval, the 2.5 mile one, I always said like point blank, yes. I think the 2.5 mile now with this car and with this style racing makes for a true endurance and a different type of racing now. And honestly, the Brickyard 400 has a lot more prestige than the Indy Road Course, so I think it's honestly time to bring back the big oval and let the Brickyard 400 come back to the mainstay of its heritage. Because I feel like this car and the way this setup is, it's perfect for it, and it's designed to get that kind of racing if we saw anything from Pocono, as use an example. Then again, that's just my thoughts. I'll let you guys leave in the comment section below and let me know how you feel about that. That's just kind of my overtake of it and my thoughts of it. I'd love to hear you guys down in the comments below. Tyler Meeks in the 35, Mobile 1 Ford Mustang now going up against another race EPI driver and Christopher Wilcox in the Chevrolet Camaro. Wilcox here having a bit of a career renaissance back in the performance here. Needs to get a window in the season if he wants any chance to really make the playoffs. His points gets have not been horrible, but you know, again, when you're going up against guys like Team BSM, Team Ovalson Performance, you got a lot of pressure on your name and on your back, while also just trying to figure out how to secure wins, how to secure properties here, and positions and control, without a doubt, make for the toughest thing to deal with as much as is the hardest area of line to get around. Take a look at the onboard camera here of Ryan Alonso. You can see just how much maneuvering, how much tempo he's got to do just to try to get around one another, and Tyler Meeks making a problem turn there out of turn number 3. Problematic turn will not get yourself any favors here, and he knew it. Lorenzo making a good charge off him. Lorenzo still dealing with pressure. Ooh, Stephen Fless there off the back end, slamming the wall protection off the corner. Richard Ford show now even getting a little bit of pressure added onto these guys. Looks like the Finger 11 machine is now looking to bring it back here a little bit. Coming right around the track, right around the outside edges here. The number 90 now bringing the power up ahead, bringing his Champion Power Equipment logoed up back end of the 90 back into play and back on the track. Looking for a little bit of help, looking for a little bit of momentum. Race fans, we're just about halfway done with this race, and so far, Boyd Hagen and Kyle Myers are the ones to watch out for. Boyd taking the race lead away from Myers, but how long can he keep it? Find out when we return. Today's race here at Long Pond, Pennsylvania has been presented in part by our friends at Champion Power Equipment. When you guys need the best power generators on the market, only one brand name has stood above else since the stance of time, and that is our friends at Champion Power Equipment. So be sure to check them out on their website at www.championpowerequipment.com to see about getting yourself the next best power generator for your needs and your market. Thank you again to Champion Power Equipment for sponsoring us in the season and the show. We appreciate your support. Well, back to the action right now here in Long Pond, and currently Boyd Hagen still ahead of Kyle Myers in the 18 by a good margin of error. Janzik, Holden, and Lawrence Plus now heading into pit road, so you can see where everyone's falling in line. Oh, look out down there, though, on the front straightaway. There goes Man Jr. spun out there right in the mix by Taylor and Henson. Whoa. And things just got flipped upside down for those that were trying to go out the full pit strategy, and those in pit road really just found themselves in a worse for wear luck's position here. What has happened to Man Jr. there, coming right off the front straightaway, gets sent packing around. Take a look at Jason Taylor here. Watches this kind of get a good run and a good drive off here. Looks for he was going for the slingshot pass entering the turn and nowhere to go. Man Jr., I mean, the bright side for Man Jr. is he didn't really have a horrible break there when it came to the car getting put in that spot. He actually had a little bit of a help there by going to the grass. You can see both guys kind of cross up a little bit there, and it looks like Jason Taylor was trying to stand clear of him. He saw he was getting pretty close to him, and I think Man Jr. just kind of forgot where he was at. It's easy to lose track position and lose timing and error there, and that definitely happened. Well, I believe my broadcaster curse may have actually done something to Man Jr. too already. I told him literally right before we went on that Matt maybe finally gotten rid of with that sticker behind him that has our P-Series TV logo there, but nope. I guess that curse is still alive and well. Sorry, Man Jr. Well, let's take it down now and talk with some of our guys here right now from the Oval Sim Performance Camp here. It is 69. Stephen Pless now joining me on the line, and Steven, so far it's been kind of a rocky road when it comes to your speed and momentum. You had a great start earlier, but then it started to fade away badly there. What happened down there?
Man, it's definitely a struggle. If you ever get out of the preferred line, you just get choo-choo trained, and then it's super hard to pass. You just got to catch somebody slipping and try to get a nose under them.
Still a driver is trying to catch them to make a mistake or trying to watch for them to make that mistake happen. I mean, how much does that kind of mentally wear on you and the car, you think?
It's pretty hard just because the hardest part is making sure you hit your mark and hoping on him or hoping on them miss their mark. It's a little mentally taxing. This is a fairly tricky track. I don't call it a tricky triangle for nothing.
They certainly don't. Well, nevertheless, Stephen, we do appreciate your time here in this Racing Fox Shocks 69. Best of luck down there as you get back to it.
Thanks, sir.
Stephen Pless getting into pit road, looking to try to settle himself back down, just get the nerves rolled out of his system. Bit of a wild get there for him and his crew. Time to take a listen in right now with the number 5, Kyle Holden now joins me on the line here. And Kyle, you know, talk about having a good start as well, and just a slight fade off in the 5 Toyota Camry, but it seems as though the Camrys have been dominating up in the front. Is there a specific reason why that might be the case here?
You know, it's just that Toyota life. It's TRD all the way. Can't get anything better. You know, those Chevys and the Fords are just slow. So, you know, you gotta go for the Camry.
Gotta go for the Camry, I guess so. Well, I'll ask this as well, man. With the way the setup was looking, the way things were kind of holding down, you were holding Janik back quite a bit. Then it looked like it started to get tight. Is there a certain spot or area where the car just does not like to run when you're getting tight on that?
It's tight in turn 2 for me. I'm not sure if it's the setup or just the way I'm driving. But then as the run goes longer, turn 3 I get real loose out of. So we did a little adjustment here to see if we can tighten her up, and hopefully that works out for turn 2. But we'll see how it goes here. I think we just pushed a little too hard in the first stint.
Absolutely. Well, nevertheless, Holden, we really appreciate you coming on board here. Our best wishes and luck as we get you back into this.
Appreciate it.
Kyle Holden representing for 3Y Motorsports, ladies and gentlemen. Well, currently the field is racked, stacked, ready to get back on the attack here. And we will do so. The field is getting back into the pit spots here, so now let's get back to the action and back to the track here. Pit road now closed. The field's now coming to full fruition. Robert Lawrence going to have to try to hustle back up to the front. He's going to be a lap down if he doesn't. So he's going to try to hurry past this 2.5 mile long track and get to the boys here. And believe me, trying to make your way around the track without spinning or getting yourself into trouble is going to be a lot easier said than done, if you ask me. When we go back to green, we'll be halfway done with this race. Keep that in mind, halfway done with the race already. We are approaching a near perfect momentum based on a battle of attrition as well as performance here. These guys know there's a lot going on, there's a lot really at stake. And that's what makes this so difficult for them. And they've got to watch themselves as they get further into it. We'll pock them off down the back stretch of turn 2 into the turn 3 sector. Tyler Meeks right now 10 spots up, but he's got a murderer's row of drivers behind him right now looking to come after him. Craig Janzik, Tyler Meeks, Kyle Holden, Christian Wilcox, Brad Thacker, Boyd Hagen. They all know how to play this game. The surpriser in the back right now for pit stop wise is the 18 of Kyle Myers. We'll see how he handles the nerves as they start to get clicked up and cooked off back there. Down the back end we go, setting back for the green flag. We set him up. The champion power car restart zone brings him to the field. We're back and running. Turn number 1 is going to tell a tale. Which ones get the tail written in their stone? Wilcox drives up a little high. Meeks very tight off for the exit. And Janzik seizes an opportunity. Now looking to stay in the throttle. I think Meeks was just trying to avoid trouble there, not wanting to throw himself into a bad limelight. Eli Childs now making a little bit of a work around here, making a bit of a fight back in this. Maybe could be something coming from Childs' camp. You hear that downshift as well, having to get the RPMs back up a few notches there, working with that 56 of Brad Thacker on his outside. Thacker trying to keep the youngling 56 away from anything too crazy, too anticipated. He knows momentum is key. The momentum is strong, but if he stays in the run, he'll be all right. James Harris now also moving back into this fight here, currently on the top 10. Remember, this guy was not even practicing till literally we came onto the show. There was an update we had actually for, ironically enough, Indianapolis Motor Speedway and a few other things that iRacing had done. Nothing to the next gens, though, I believe, was changed, other than maybe a few little extra cosmetic damages or little updates for the netcodes they usually suffer through. Speaking of updates here, it's almost 3 wide there, coming off the tunnel turn there. You see Childs trying to stay clear of Harris as well as Alonso. Everybody just looking for momentum and looking for positions. That's the biggest thing here, is you never know who's going to make that dive, who's going to make that charge up first. Jason Taylor on the left side, very inside. Middle sandwich is in the number 2 of Zach Henson. We have a 3 wide slot heading for turn 1. And Taylor backs off, doesn't want nothing to do with them. Myers right in the thick of it. He is in no man's line. He does not want to be where he's stuck at right now. This is not where he was at earlier and not what he wants to see. This is the pack racing I was used to seeing back with those Gen 6s when they had the 550 horsepower package to keep everyone more closely regarded in tandem. But with this Gen 7, it doesn't always happen that way. You can get them separated out and really then start to use the power and extra bandwidth of that tire set as well as that rear differential and the shock absorbers on full performance and full sail. And that snap lock steering, well, that just makes it all the worth harder. The 90 at Retro Foreign Shell right now, pumping up right up in position, right back into the fray. Every driver for themselves looking to keep it up and keep the momentum going. This has been a solid performance by the Champion Power Equipment Fast and Fun Cup Series once more here on P2Ace TV. No surprise there. They've always had a bit of a showing and a showcase of themselves in their toughest times and their biggest times when they absolutely need to. And that's exactly what they want to do here. The Harris Tools Toyota Camry and the Matco machine trying to keep up distance, keep up ground. And Matthew Johnson flirts with the left rear corner panel of Robert Lawrence. It's hard to not get a little excited, a little bit scary, because I mean the thing is, you're going 189, 190 plus miles per hour just right up to that bumper. Do you really think for 1 second these cars are going to hold line when you tag them at that speed? Yeah, I wouldn't even put it past them, and I don't think so. And look at this now, 3 wide off of turn 1, sending it to the tunnel turn. Oh, hold on down there, Henson and Johnson. They've got to raise up just a little bit to set the corner. They tighten it up, still 3 wide, coming down from the tunnel turn. Henson with the advantage, now fires back at Lawrence. Lawrence throwing a spot down, 3 wide, downbound through turn number 3. Johnson, Thacker, and now Plus slamming the gas pedal and going for the hard charge. We've got some full throttle assaulters in brigade. My, now that's a drive and a half there between these cats. And right up to the front, actually, we've got company for the race lead. Boyd Hagen, he says, I'm getting tired of waiting back here. It's time to make some moves. Tyler Meeks now has to go into defense. Oh, he's not going to have enough time, though, to block Hagen. Hagen got his corner panel already. Now sending its way in. Janzik's making it a little bit more difficult for Hagen. Has to give him the bumper a little bit. You saw Hagen getting that left rear corner panel nearly clipped by the nose of the other Camrys. RaceEPI.com, 02 Janzik. Every driver for themselves and nobody giving an inch to the other. Onboard camera here with Kyle Holland, the number 5 as the Camry now comes right back into the fight. Looking to hang in there. Draft powering off with Wilcox on the inside. Wilcox trying to use a little bit more extra momentum, but it seems as though if you got that draft car lined up, then that's all you need, really. 25 laps left to go here. We're getting closer to a big battle up ahead. Hagen, though, outsmarting Janzik again. But remember, Janzik has had Hagen's number before. Remember back at WWT Raceway, it was Janzik who had performed one of the most impressive displays of raw power and technical driving skills to outsmart a full-on halfway point racing 96 of Hagen. Hagen had stayed out and only took 1 pit stop. Janzik had to do 2. And in that race, it was Janzik who literally full throttle assaulted the entire track, outlasting and then coming quickly to Hagen, with Hagen outplaying himself and outdoing everything, but not enough to take down the likes of the 02. That was one of the most remarkable races we have seen in quite some time, and it shows the Champion Power Equipment Fast and Fun Cup Series is alive and well in their pure, unadulterated mentality of racing. They love this kind of battles. They love to get going with this kind of stuff, and that's why they are represented with some of the top tier of their sponsors as well as their top tier names that come with this playing field. Layman Jr. Oh, looked at a little bit of a tap there to Richard Fornshell, tied off the tunnel turn. And now Fornshell sent back into the shadow realm a little bit. Eli Childs going to put the factory canopies 9 up into the fight. He wants something with the GMG 18 of Myers. The Green Mountain Grills 18 Camry of Myers right now dealing with company at his door handle, trying to get back up to the field. Wayman Jr. now kind of getting crossed back up here after his little cross up he had on the front straightaway just a little while ago. He got tangled there with the 15 and Jason Taylor, where Taylor right now is currently in the mix of the bottom half of the pack. Man Jr. is now moving upwards past top 10. He's in the 9th slot right now, dealing with Lorenzo Myers and Harris right in front of him. Harris, though, trying to play defense right now because he knows that Myers will have the speed and the extra power to get around him. Here comes that Camry again, putting it right up ahead of the Ford Mustang of Harris. The RaceEPI.com 55 now looking to try to draft back. There's one thing these Fords are extremely good with. It's a draft. But the problem is the Camrys seem to literally be on a whole nother level when it comes to the turning. It appears the turning course end of the Camrys has made it much more difficult for the rest of the field to take notice or take shape, and Janzik even is starting to fail and fall off again to Hagen. Remember, these guys went in at pit lane in lap number 27. They had taken all 4 sets of tires and all fuel, so this is now their strategies and their performances put up on display here. And so far, we're seeing Hagen, who outclassed and outmatched a few guys, making up for his lost ground in time he had in qualifying. Remember, he qualified in 10th, which was a surpriser to us because really, Janzik had top tier level speed, and so did the likes of Lawrence, Fornshell, and even Mr. Myers. But that was not the case, and that was not the end result for Hagen. Now he is making up for it here in the race end. Back on board with the factory canopies, number 9 of Eli Childs, and I think it's time we send it on our way, race fans. It's time we turn the mics off, let the drivers do the talking, and let the engines roar. It's time to crank it up here on BTM Racing TV. My, indeed, race fans. Quite a time and a click around here from these guys. Everybody putting on a great, solid performance here in the middle of the pack here, while the guys up front trying to figure out how to dodge and charge their way up as far as they can. A lot of a even playing field drivers right now with the way the middle is working, but the top half, not so much. They're pretty much kind of just jumping ahead of this entire field and jumping around the entire lane traffic. Let's take a look at our lap times right now between Mr. Janzik and Hagen, and well, I'm just going to say this right now. It's not looking too good for Janzik. That big orange down there, that is time gained on Janzik for Mr. Hagen. The negative there, the green, that's Janzik gaining on Hagen, and I'm sorry to say, Janzik, but 2,000 of a second is not going to win you this race that way. Hagen right now currently on lap number 42, setting up a solid time and a solid lane here. Let's take a look at the time. And they go, whoa, 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 whoa. Before we get back into that, we got trouble. There's trouble down there on the back end. Camera crew is working hard to get to it. It's Man Jr. then the 29 wrecking hard in the old Camp Whiskey Fans Maintenance 29 machine. And that right front is bent and broken in, so now he's going to need a pit stop and some help. The diffuser there on the air diffuser bottom of the chassis is now actually rubbing up against the track itself. There's problems for the 29 and huge problems going down there for him and his crew. Can't catch a break in the tricky triangle.
Caught a break with that.
Well, I caught a break here of avoiding you all day here, Thacker, but now I have to deal with you, sir.
I keep coming back, man. It's like whack-a-mole. You push me down, lock me out, and I just pop right back up.
Speaking of whack-a-mole here, it looks like Eli Childs coming off a 3, kind of played a little whack-a-mole there with Man Jr. Unfortunately, both drivers colliding with one another there. And really, it looks like really these cars are having a lot harder time getting through the exits more than they are kind of pouring through the entry. Dacker, what's going on down there with that kind of situation? Is it the entries are easier to get around than the exits, or what's the plan with these things?
I don't know. You're so used to just getting off the gas a little bit and running through that tunnel turn. And now with these cars, you drive, you do everything normal, and then you're in the outside wall, and then your tire's wobbling. At least that's what happened to me.
Yeah, I was about to say, well, I mean, unless it's wobbling like Man Jr.'s right now, I at least say you're probably in the clear with that, my friend.
Oh, no, no, you could have told me the cars were coming.
I didn't tell you nothing. I was still watching the replay. What do you want out of me?
Oh, I about rear-ended the field. Anyway, yeah, no, I pancaked the wall on lap 15. Had to take a fastie and got off cycle, and that's why I fell back so quick. My tires already had like 15 laps on them when everybody else got theirs. But thanks to Eli taking out the man-child, I am back on cycle with everybody else.
Well,
in the catbird seat, as
I mean, I don't know how Man Jr.'s going to feel about that last comment, though. But, I mean, with 15 laps left, I'll ask you this here, too, Thacker. I mean, does that kind of help maybe give you a catbird spot to actually put something up in the top 5?
No. I will, I'll be back on cycle. I'll be back on with everybody's tires. I think I could probably race my way into the top 10, but there's some pretty good guys up there in front of me. I will not break the top 5 unless something catastrophic happens.
Well, I mean, this is PT Race TV, and you know I've always
seen
had
weirder
that happen.
things.
I've seen
crazier things have happened.
Yeah, some things that usually some voodoo dolls have fixed up before, but that's okay.
Yeah. So anyway, if you have some voodoo dolls with everybody else's name on them, if you'll poke their tires or whatever you do,
that's already Goodyear's
the
problem,
Lord
not
of
mine.
speed. So
that's NASCAR and Goodyear's problem, not mine.
But anyway, I'm looking forward to this run. I guess I'll get out of here and let you get back to broadcasting and trying to be all professional without idiots coming in and running the show for you.
Thank you, Thacker.
Ah, man, I appreciate it. I'll get myself out, or you can kick me out once I exit the pits here.
I don't even know when the heck you're coming out of pit road. Oh, you're out of pit road now.
I got it.
All right, I'll get you.
I'll see myself out.
See you later, buddy.
See you later.
Are we sure we can't just call Brad Thacker the Kyle Busch of our broadcast? Is it too early or too late to call him that, guys? I don't know. There are times, though, I swear, like, the way he acts, the way he holds himself up, he's either a Kyle Busch or a really young Kurt Busch, the way he talks. I'm sorry, but I mean, it's just times he just gets in this he just gets a microphone in his hands. Like, you either listen to him or you do your best trying to ignore him, and I can't avoid him, so you guys have to deal with him with me. All much love to him, though. A good friend of mine and a good worker as well. And a good driver, too. I've raced him a few times. He's definitely tough as nails to beat sometimes. So we'll see if he can bring it back and bring it alive here. Stephen Pletz also kind of in that mix and that threshold, looking to get it down in here. Matthew Johnson was another driver here that was looking to kind of dial up a few spots and take it on home. But speed certainly doesn't seem to be there as he now joins me here in the number 4 camp. And Johnson, I mean, the good news is you got a lap back and now have a chance to kind of fire back at some of these guys. But what is going on with this number 4 camp today?
Just racing in the back, having some fun today. Trying to find some pace. Pocono's never been a strong place.
That seems like it, but this Allagash number 4 Mustang GT has been still at least somewhat relatively fast in control when it gets to being that draft. It's just, it was when the draft kind of gets off though, does the car just all of a sudden become a little tighter there for you, or what are you thinking?
Yeah, the car definitely behaves different in the air behind other cars or when it's free. Trying to make some in-car adjustments in the pit stops, see what we can do to keep this thing rolling forward to the front. But for the now, meantime, just enjoying the battles back here.
For sure there. Well, we enjoy listening to you and talking with you as well when we get a chance here, Johnson, so thank you for your time, sir.
All right, thank you, Christian.
Matthew Johnson, ladies and gentlemen, the Allagash number 4 Ford Mustang GT, trying to build up some speed and some extra momentum. Well, the good news is I think we have chatted with everybody that is in our call except for Zach Henson. That's the only one we haven't. Zach, don't be alarmed. I will make sure we got you written in for next week here, buddy. With 14 laps to go, though, race fans, on this start, this is no longer now a fuel mileage or a tire mileage run. This is now a who the heck can hang on long enough to avoid trouble and avoid the big chaos that comes with it. Stephen Pless and Christian Wilcox did not enter into pit road. They are on burnt tires, and they have a car that may not be up to stuff to what Pless and Janzik are about to throw at them. Hagen, Holden, Lawrence, Harris, Ronzo, Myers, and Childs, top 10 right now, looking to make or break this one as they enter into the fray off of turn 3. There's no turn 4. It's a triangle track. And it's about to turn into a bit of a Bermuda when it comes to figuring this place out. Green flag is out again. We're back at it. Out of the gate, Wilcox going to the bottom. Janzik staying top. Pless falls back. Here comes Holden to the inside. Now looking for the pass. The slingshot is engaged. Coming for the exit of turn number 1. Can he get the corner off from 69? Yes, he can. Robert Lawrence, though. Loose off the edge. Woman off turn number 1, lost a lot of power, got nudged and bumped and shifted around. Gets shuffled back into the pack here. Janzik trying to make a go for Wilcox. Wilcox, so with the race lead, knows he's got company to his inside corner panel. Here comes his teammate Janzik on the left side. Janzik on the inside now with Holden pulling back the strings, making the momentum run in the 5. Holden knows this might be his only chance to start making the grip and the drive for the victory. And Janzik knows what he's up to, throws the block. Trying to get him off his tail, and Janzik way down low. That's a lot of power and momentum he just lost, sends it straight back up into the 5 run. Trying to get the airflow to get tight on the 5, trying to force the other drivers to get a little bit engaged here. Look out, no, James Harris. James Harris threw it in straight with the 18. Watch out for Fortel on turn 1. No, no. Oh my goodness, Matthew Johnson off of turn number 1 gets clipped from the 90 of Richard Fornshell. And the Fornshell camp, unfortunately, no way of controlling where he was going or what was going next. He knew this car was lost, and a right front tire has been destroyed and bashed in again. The second tire to be done so. William Mann Jr. was the first. Fornshell is now the second. What happened down there, unfortunately, coming off turn number 1, we're about to find out. Watch this, entering into turn number 1 here. Look at Fornshell. He's on the left side of your screen. Comes right through the corner, drives up a little bit. Got company behind with a 3 wide. Now they shuffle. Looks like he gets clipped in the back. Looked like he got clipped around in the back there. We did not have a camera on that at that time from that angle. Here's another look at it. We did have the chopper cam watching these guys. Here's where it gets interesting. Look at Myers. He forces Harris here. Tightens him up. Then Harris is trying to avoid trouble. Fornshell got sent loose. Look at Fornshell. He actually got into the absolute roughest part of that track. And look at that right front wheel just completely broken off the spindle. And broke off the right front tire axle rod. The axle rod itself actually completely destroyed on that number 90. And that crew needs to get to work ASAP. Wow, man, oh man, now we are starting to get closer and closer to this being a shootout. That's the last thing any of these guys want. Believe me, on a track like this, that could get dangerous. And I say it could get dangerous because that means some tore up equipment and some tore up drivers may be coming with it. Well, I said we'd try to get next weekend for this man, but I think we got a chance now. Let's listen in with them. The number 2 in the Harris Tools Machine Toyota Camry joins us on the call.
Yeah, hello. What's up?
Henson, how are you, sir?
Struggling.
I was gonna say you're struggling, but it looked like you got away with one there, avoiding a massive collision and a little bit of a track little spot there.
Yeah, that was a little scary for a second. Couldn't tell where he was going to bounce off the wall.
Yeah, it was a bit scary there on our end too, watching the Fornshell and Johnson get into it. But now, with this getting closer to possibly having just a couple laps remaining to go out of here, does this kind of help the confidence a little bit to make a run for him, or do you think you're just going to try to stay out of trouble?
I think for the first 10 laps, first 5 laps, I'm going to stay out of trouble because I'm still struggling with the grip. It's just not there.
Well, it's definitely going to be a lot of work and a lot of game plans here, but Henson, nevertheless, we wish you the best here on this final restarts.
All right, thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the number 2 driver in the Harris Tools Machine Toyota Camry, it is Zach Henson on the line. And with that now, we are coming one step closer to the edge, and these drivers are not about to break. They want to get everything set up and back in the way they want. All right, race fans, when we come back, we are merely down to the final 8 laps left to go. Can Craig Janzik finally hold off the field and hold off another Murders Row drivers, or will Kyle Holden, Brian Lorenzo, and Christian Wilcox have something to say about that? Find out when we return. Race fans here in Long Pond, Pennsylvania, your race today has presented in part by our friends at Champion Power Equipment, the best power generators on the market and the tools you need for your rights, needs, and services. Only one brand stands above all else. That is our friends at Champion Power Equipment. Be sure to visit them up at www.championpowerequipment.com to get yourself the right generator and tools for your next job. Thank you again to Champion Power Equipment for your support this season to the Fast and Fun Cup Series, as well as to our end here on the broadcast side. With 10 laps to go, we're putting the top 5 on your screen here. This will get interesting here as we bring him back to the line. We'll get the scrolling moment going here. But look at your top 5 right now. Look at this field. Janzik, Holden, Lorenzo, Wilcox, Meeks. Then top 10. Harris, Pless, Childs, Lawrence, Taylor. That is a row that you would not think would be anywhere near what we would have expected. You would have thought guys like Hagen and Myers would have been in that mix and in that heat, but here's the thing. Hagen and Myers, they went in pit road on lap 14.9. That's a 5-lap difference on a 2.5 mile long track. Let that sink in for a second. To the younger fans out there, that may not seem like much if you're doing your math and calculations, but remember what the driver said earlier. These things only have about 10 laps of good wear and tear on the tires before things get pretty bad. Imagine half of that now going at full speed, full force, just trying to outsmart and outdo the other. Myers and Hagen have the advantage. The downside, though, is where do they find the ways to pass? Remember, the only ways you're going to get around this track with passing is either drafting on the straights, or you need a lot of power in that turn and force the other driver to go up a little bit so they have to hold a certain line and burn more up. That is the only way they're going to make those passes, and they know this is a very calculated risk. Team BSM has some work to do. They've got a lot at stake here as we're getting ready to bring them back to the green. Off the final corners of turn 3, Long Pond, get on your feet, get your cameras ready. We're coming to an end and coming to a final showcase with 9 laps to go. Will this be their final restart? Before we finish it out, the green drops, the flag is up, we're underway once again. We've got 9 to go. Wilcox already getting help from his teammates Meeks and Jantic. Oh, look at that sound. Holden getting punched around a little bit. Lorenzo loose, saves it. Nice save off of turn 1 to the exit. Hagen going for a broke. 4 wide. That's not going to to work into the wreck off turn 1. Hagen wrecks the field as they come off of turn number 1. Eli Childs, Richard Fornshell, and Kyle Myers all able to get out of it somewhat okay. Fornshell not so much, I should say. Thacker was the one that got cleanly out of that, but Boyd Hagen not so fortunate. And Hagen extremely disappointed with himself and not happy with that move he just made. Let's take a look at the replay. Watch this right here. Everyone gets bunched back up. Hagen had to go for the run. He clips the 9 of Childs just a little bit. Sends in motion. Wayman Jr. getting hit. Myers actually got clipped in there. Fornshell, the Theory 1190 getting clipped up. Not the Finger 11. I apologize, guys. It's a different, obviously IP. It's a band, obviously. So my apologies. But that was a huge hit there for ball guys involved. And again, that's just one of the bad telling tales that Pocono can bring to the table sometimes. You see Lorenzo got loose. This is where he got loose, and then great save here, by the way. And then 3 wide off that. Came clear. Hagen having to go goes 4 wide though. Gets a little love tap to the 29. Mancini this time actually gets away from it. Thacker evading trouble. Myers though does take some damage in that shot and in that hit. So this is going to be a bit of a wild goose chase now to figure out who's even going to be able to get out of this one. Fastly approaching the end game here right now. We'll be at about 5 laps to go come restart time. Craig Janzik, nicknamed the Zanny Fam, the Zanny Man. The RaceCPI.com 02 looking to take one at these boys and fire off at them. Christian Wilcox, the 53 RacePI.com, is going to have to admit defeat on his tire strategy. He's going to go in now. It could work out. It could backfire on him, but we'll see. This fuel run, though, definitely took a hit. So did the other drivers right now. Stephen Pless, Robert Lawrence, Brad Thacker, Eli Childs, Fornshell, and Hagen have all entered in pit road. Janzik knows he needs to keep those tires warm, so you see he's actually moving the car left and right. What he's doing right now is not only shaking off asphalt, same thing Holden's doing. What they're trying to do is they're trying to shake off all the ruts, rocks, and everything that usually gets stuck on an asphalt or pavement track. Same thing goes in dirt. You're trying to knock off all the extra loose stuff and trying to get these slick tires to grip onto the surface so they have full power and full speed to then rip and tear it up on the long distance run and on the game plan here. That is how you keep these things from spinning on the starts as well as from getting a bad start on the go. You need all the power and all that weight transferred from the rear end to the front and the tires gripping with it. That is how to get these next-gen Cup cars at maximum potential. Yeah, the first half, again, was a pretty solid effort and a solid performance by everybody, using strategy and using their mileage to their advantage. Now, everybody finds themselves really in an even playing field, and only the best drivers that have been able to master the fastest of the qualifying now have the advantage. Race fans, we are now approaching our final 5 laps. If they cannot get this in, remember, we will have a green-white checkered finish. What that means is coming to the line, things could get a little bit interesting. And with the final 5 laps, you know what that means. Our top 5 will be presented up on the scoreboard here for the last laps. Watch as these drivers switch and change and flip-flop and crisscross applesauce this thing around. This could get interesting. You got guys in the back right now on a fresher set of tires. You got guys right now looking for a bit of a gravel or two with 9 laps of tire wear, you know, bolstered up just a little bit. It's not going to do much good to really worry about that. You really just need to make sure you hit your corners and your turns properly, especially these final 5. But with a slingshot added effect here for some of these guys, like the ones that went into pit road with Man Jr., Childs, Wilcox, Press, Lawrence, Dacker, Fornshell, and Myers. That definitely sets the tone and feel for Janzik, Holden, Harris, Meeks, and Taylor, and Henson to have to watch themselves on this get. When they come to the line here off of turn number 3, you know as well as anything, they are going to rev these RPMs up and set them up for success. There's a few guys still looking to make it into the playoffs. One of them is the reigning champion, James Harris. Can he get this thing into victory lane at Pocono? We're about to find out. To the line and to the green. The green is out. They mix and match, flip it around, entering into turn number 1. Every driver for themselves coming through the corner. Meeks looking to the inside, trying to get into the points, trying to get into the championship. Janzik starting to fire hard on him. Right in the middle though, 3 wide slip. Robert Lawrence able to evade traffic, able to evade trouble. The field coming quick, coming through it fast here. Taylor though bumping into Harris and sets a commotion, a wreck on the back end in turn 2. And another yellow is thrown out. Wilcox, Sacker, and Henson involved. Oh my goodness. And Kyle Myers, whoa, sending the 18 down to the grassy plains going for pit road. Oh, I see what's up now. He's got a right front broken on that car. Team BSM definitely was not expecting this. Let's take a look at the replay here. Let's see what happened exactly here. We had an onboard shot here of Myers here when they got into that wreck. I believe it was Jason Taylor that set in motion that little hit there. Whoa, but that was a bit of an understatement. Kyle Myers, man, he drove that thing right into the field. That's all I will say there. You guys can be the judge and jury on that, but that to me looked like he drove it in there all right. Let's take a look though at what happened here to Harris and Taylor as they were entering into that turn. Watch carefully here and then watch what happens as they start to crease around. See Henson getting crapped, getting sent around, Wilcox gets clipped. Thacker gets a whack or two, and you can see it was all done and over with them for their end, unfortunately. Well, I said it before, I'll say it again. You knew it was coming. The green-white checker is now up for grabs. The tricky triangle wasn't giving these guys much fits until now. Now it's really becoming a fight for survival. Janzik doesn't need this win, by the way. He's already locked in, but you know as well as anything, he's not going to refuse to give up a win. Not by any means. But for guys like Meeks, you heard him say earlier, I need to win to get to that playoffs and get into that championship rounds. This means the world to him, and this is a knockout-style, drag-out fight they are very well aware of. And this is a very, very tough ordeal to be thrown into. And James Harris, literally just about his entire race, clips and thrown out the window by that slight tap by the 15 of Jason Taylor. If Harris can win this, he'll make it into the playoff rounds, and with those coming up quick, he needs them. Jason Taylor, though, still without a win himself, he needs this as much as anything. These guys are going for broke. We have now set the field. We have set the tone. We are set with this long-awaited green-white checkered. There is so much on the line, so much story going down. Many drivers still without a win and still not in the playoffs. And many of them will not have a chance to actually even get into the playoffs because of the points. So a win here for guys like Meeks and Harris would give them what they need and what they desire more than anything. This is all for grabs, all for their shot. It's what they're looking for. That's what they need. Can they perform at the highest level and grab that win? Jancic will not make it easy for him, though. Your field is set. Three teams in this playing field right now. Team Dump and Run, Team Oval Sim Performance, the people up ahead of the field right now mainly, and the ones just below them, Free Y Motorsports, going for broke. Team BSM, unfortunately, at this point has lost all their drivers. Hagen and Myers are out, which means it's either going to go down to one of the three other teams to win this race outright as they bring them to the line and to the start. This is the first of our green-white checker scenarios. Which driver will come out on top and which one will bring it to the line? Off of turn 3, we find out. To the green, we charge, we fly him up, high in the air, final 5, it's time to go. Top 5 on your screen, and everybody's already in a frenzy, entering in for the first set of corners. They want to get to the lead as quick as possible here. Holden throws the jump on the bottom. It's Meeks now having to hold the middle. Jancic trying to stand clear of him. Needs to stay away from that draft. Meeks is now looking to lock and load at him. Jancic trying to hang on. Harris is looking like his car may be all but done for. Taylor's going to the inside. May have took too many bump and runs earlier and losing a lot of ground for his troubles. But up front though, Meeks has a chance. He has an opportunity. Oh, but he takes a bumper there by the 5 of Holden. Trying to get him to that 0-2 of Jancic. They lead him off right down to the start. Here we come down to the white flag. They draft off one another looking for the finish. Meeks is desperate. He needs this. Trying to find a way around Jancic. Will he give him the bumper to 1? No, not yet. He's coming close though. Holden not going to hold back on that though. He wants to give it to him. They'll bring it right back down the line. Holden now gets that underneath the 35. He's trying to make the move, trying to make the dash in the 5. Jancic now knows he can hang on and take this one away. Holden going for broke, going for the 0-2. Meeks right together off the tunnel turn. A huge hit there by Mr. Man Jr. into the number 53 of Wilcox. They're 3 wide entering into turn 3 between LaRondo and the rest of the cab. Jancic, though, off the final corner, will hold on and once again seal the victory. He wins at Pocono. And they are wrecking to the line after a 4-wide salute. A huge wreck ensuing on the front straightaway. Oh my word, chaotic and nature and chaos at its peak. And the tricky triangle has been figured out. Your race winner here at Pocono today is the man from the state, the man that holds the power again. Craig Jancic wins it in his home track field advantage and his home stated field advantage as well. But you can't help but wonder and think to yourself, did he catch a break from Holden and Meeks battling as hard as they did, just going for broke, going for it all? They certainly did not give an inch, nor did they give a hoot or a holler, and they gave it everything they had and then some for that final leg. as Janzik performs probably one of the crazier burnouts I've seen him do in a while. What a performance. What a performance by all involved. Coming to the line, coming to the end. That's what it's all about. Here is the final results now popping up on your screen. Craig Janzik will hold off a firing charge of Holden and Meeks. To second and third, they'll finish respectively. Jason Taylor goes fourth. James Harris finishing in the fifth slot with William Mann Jr. going sixth. Another good performance by both guys. Lorenzo sending its way to seventh. Wilcox able to hold out for eighth. Ninth goes to Richard Fornshell. And Robert Lawrence managing to pull off a top 10 to close out his night. Well, race fans, there's all but one last thing to do here before we start getting to close this night off. A day off here in Pocono and Long Pond. We visit our top three, the first of which finishes third in Tyler Meeks. And Meeks, I know this is not well you wanted to end up seeing this. You said at the beginning of this race, I need this win to get to the playoffs. And right now, man, it looked like it was coming close until the final battle between you and Holden.
Yeah, I was really wanting to get this win really bad. I feel like I've been this race was probably the closest I've been in the best position to get a win, and unfortunately, this guy's going for the same room. Me and Kyle. I mean, we did props to Kyle for keeping it really clean. Actually, we were just going for the same spot, and we started battling each other and kind of let Craig get away. Although Craig was fast all night. I mean, we did pretty good, I believe. I mean, we were in I want to say top 5 most of the race. So we were up there pretty good, but yeah, I definitely wanted to get the win here real bad, secure my spot in the playoffs. We'll try to get them in 2 weeks.
I know the emotions are running high right now. Everything's kind of coming through and kind of coming through fruition. But, I mean, with 2 weeks left and only a couple races left on this performance here, looking at the schedule, I mean, you've got a lot of competition to go up against, but it seems as though with Watkins Glen and looks like Darlington, do you feel like any of those tracks could be something you can work out?
Yeah, so I'd probably call myself a little bit of a road course ringer with this group. I think I got a third or fourth in Road America. All the other races last season, I got second and third. I mean, I'm top 5 in road courses, so I'm feeling pretty good about Watkins Glen. I don't know about race to win good, but I'd probably say top 5 good. I don't think anyone's going to beat Craig, let's be honest, at a road course. He's got them things dialed. But Darlington, I got no hope at Darlington. I think Watkins going to be my next big chance, but if not, we can race our way in on points, and I think we're there right now.
Certainly indeed, but nevertheless here, Meeks, I mean, this one definitely was much needed in performance and all that for you and this crew. So as you kind of close this one out, sir, anybody want to thank for this third place finish?
Yeah, first just want to thank you guys, PTM Racing, for broadcasting and getting our names out there to hopefully one day make it the big time, although we're probably past that point. But Champion Power Equipment for giving us the chance to do this, and just James, Eli, all them admins that put this thing on for us so we can participate. And I mean, yeah, that's it.
Right, sir, there. Well, Meeks, congratulations on third place finisher, sir. Hope to see you sometime here in Victory Lane in due time.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Tyler Meeks, ladies and gentlemen, coming away here as your front runner for third. Second place, though, is going to go here to Kyle Holden in the number 5. Kyle, man, I mean, you've been in this shoe before. You've been fighting these guys constantly on these tracks, and it looked like another fight and a half coming for the end, but just did not work out in your favor.
Yeah, Tyler there closed the door on me coming out of 3. Otherwise, I think I would have gotten to P2 and could have battled for Craig there on the second to last lap. So he closed the door. I let him know that I was there. Gave him a little shove, and then eventually we got around him after turn 1, and then we just didn't have enough time to get up to Craig to kind of battle up there.
I was gonna say, if you had about 2 or 3 more laps, I mean, without everything else that kind of happened, it kind of set you guys back. Do you think maybe Craig would have felt a little bit more pressure from this big five? You think?
Yeah, had we had a good restart, maybe some help from behind, I think he would have felt a lot more pressure from us, and he may have made a mistake there, and that may have gotten us the win. But he held off, didn't make any mistakes there at the end, and that gave him the win.
It gave him the win, but at the end of the day, Holden, you are still going to come away as a second place finisher today. So, with that in mind, sir, who do you want to thank?
I got to give a huge shout out to you in the booth. Thanks for always putting this on for us. It's always a good time watching after the race. Huge thanks to Champion for putting on the league, and then huge thanks to Affordable SPO, Team Watson Racing, for letting me drive their wonderful car.
For sure there. Well, Kyle, as you come away second today, sir, congratulations on that, and we certainly hope to hear you next time out, buddy.
Appreciate it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kyle Holden coming away here in the number 5 camp as the man that puts it back into victory lane. It is the Pennsylvania boy himself. Craig Janzik will win this one out in Long Pond. And Janzik, you literally had to survive, what, 3 restarts and a green-white checkered, and still the 0-2 holds out.
Still the 0-2 holds out, man. What a race. I was just talking with my team there, and I don't think I've won a single thing at Pocono. I've tried to go back through my brain and a couple of the other league races we've done here. I know that I haven't done any officials because I just looked that up statistics wise, and it feels really good to actually finally do one of these things in the League Performance Industries car. I mean, you know, the restarts were definitely a lot of tension, but I definitely had my team there with me, you know, with Meeks and Wilcox at various points, assisting me throughout those restarts. And you know, you kind of have that trust factor in those people that they're not going to send it on you and do anything silly. And honestly, you know, I have the same trust with Kyle Holden too, even though we're not exactly teammates. We always race really well together. But yeah, super happy to put it in victory lane here at the home track, and you know, represent Elite Performance Industries and RaceCPI.com, the Free Beer and Hot Wings show. So you know, so well here. It feels really good.
Certainly feels really good indeed. And you know, this is being the first one out of the bunch finally to get one here in Long Pond. I mean, does that kind of now give you the advantage here in your mind to really get something back up on these Team BSM guys? Because it seems like you guys are the ones that are going back and forth from one another in the Oval Sim Performance Camp.
It does, yeah, and I do think that momentum is huge. I really hate it because I think we could have really put a good battle up with Robbie 2 weeks ago at Road America if I didn't you know, forget that turn 1 was part of the track there. I think we could have had 2 in a row here if we got that. And then, you know, we have a few weeks off here, but then we go back. When we come back, we have Watkins Glen. So another track that I always have circled on every calendar. I think, you know, we'll bring a really good piece for that, and we'll be able to really contend. I'll definitely practice my race starts for Watkins Glen though, and hopefully try to prevent history from repeating itself. And then even after the Glen, our race following that, the regular season finale is Darlington, and that is statistically my best oval. So you know, we really could bring a really serious amount of momentum forward here to end the regular season, to get these playoffs started, and that's exactly what I want to do.
That's exactly what you look like you might be aiming for and going for now. So with that in mind, though, the win at Long Pond sets the tone for it. So who do you want to thank here for that?
Yeah, got to thank you guys, PTM Racing TV, for the awesome broadcasts as always. I know that you know, Pocono can get a little strung out sometimes and a little bit tough to you know, to really say you're putting on a show, but I think that the quality of the broadcast will certainly tell the other tale, as it usually does. And thanks to Champion Power Equipment for their league sponsorship, best generators that money can buy, and you know, we're super thankful to have their support, as well as Green Mountain Grills, Blackstone Management Partners. You know, the whole litany of people over there. You know, Kevin and his team do so much for us, and we can't be more thankful. And thanks to Elite Performance Industries, get for all your setups, apparel, coaching, iRacing needs. Hit up. We're pretty good people over at RaceCPI.com. So thanks to them. Thanks to Team Conti for all their help with these cars, as always. It's awesome to be able to work hand in hand with, you know, Coke Series winners and champions alike. And thanks to the Free Beer and Hot Wings morning show. Listen to them Monday through Friday, 5 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern at freebeerandhotwings.com. And that's all I got.
All right, well, Janzik, another trip to victory lane, and definitely one for the record books for your camp. Congratulations getting that win. You've been looking for at Pocono.
Thanks, and one more huge shout out to Christian Wilcox, my teammate there. He has officially become he wrapped up his tour with the Navy, and he's officially a citizen, and he's I don't know if graduate is the right word, but I'm super proud of him. He's a great person and a good friend of mine. So great for Wilcox, and great for all of his family to finally have their normalcy back. So awesome.
A friend and soldier back with us. It's good to see you as well here. Thank you, Janzik, and congratulations again to you and your fam and crew for bringing him back, as well as everyone else here.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Craig Janzik, ladies and gentlemen, the 02 coming away here as your race winner today. And race fans, I mean, what a performance and a drive by these guys from the get-go here. I mean, there is, without a doubt, just absolutely chaos and control in all forms of nature in this motorsports business. But I mean, I don't think there's really a track that really kind of exemplifies how tough and difficult it is just to even try to win on this place and get around, as we just witnessed here at Pocono. But yet at the same time, Pocono came through and delivered and gave us a really strong race. You know, I've said it before, I've said it again. On some races, I feel like Pocono was kind of the hardest one to get through, but this was probably the most fun Pocono one I've had in a while, and it really showed too. So, I mean, good on these guys and good racing from the tail end to the beginning. The next gen car, in my opinion, has passed the Pocono test without a doubt. So, with that said, I leave it off with this. With Jansen getting that win at Pocono, definitely a win he's been searching for a long time. Ends his illustrious streak not having won here in PA. But nevertheless, race fans out there, thank you so much for tuning in. A big thank you again to Champion Power Equipment. Their power generators on the best in the market. Be sure to visit them up at their website at www.championpowerequipment.com. And again, to you fans out there, for over 2 years of support, through thick and thin, through thick and span, I love you guys from the bottom of my heart, and we all cannot do this without you. So thank you so much. We hope to see you guys in due time, and we will see you tomorrow as Venom Truck Series returns to the show. See you guys then. We'll catch you next out.